This is the third day. Just finished 1 hour meditation. Perhaps 25 minutes, 5 minutes break, 25 minutes and 5 minutes break. As a matter of fact, I usually wake up fairly early, so I trusted I'll wake up. And then the bell rang and I was a bit late. So I better put the clock. Alarm clock. So from tomorrow I have an alarm. New place, new protocol. So that's the beginning. Previous 2 days I was fine, I was up. Anyway, that's one thing. Every step of the way, I try to pick up one thing at a time and talk onto this YouTube, which is to reinforce for myself, for the protocol. I'm in a new environment, so everything is new. So it's kind of like a programming, reinforcing, and I may still forget, but the process of CAPD, check, that, plan, do. I just did meditation, I check what happened, and think what can be done, and make a change so that I have on. So that's one done. Let's reflect what else. In the last 2 sitting, I call sitting for meditation, I felt my right leg get numb. Numb meaning the blood circulation is not so good. So when you stand up, you're just not quite steady. So I thought, well, what do I do? I positioned myself appropriately. That's what I thought at the beginning. Okay, this looks good. If I'm balanced this way, it's going to be okay. They call it zafu, sitting like a cushion. And it's a little high, the one that I said. So I have to adjust, and I made sure everything is okay. Then what I did was a very new thing. I just focused on my posture all the time. Total of 50 minutes or close to 1 hour in 2 sessions. Because that was the first thing I wanted to do, make sure that I have the right posture. The thought popped up very quickly. This was in the Zen temple in Kobe. I was there for some reason, and I was sitting, meditation, and the roshi came, and I don't remember exactly where, but they hit my head this way or that way. That was almost 30 years ago. That memory popped up. He pushed only a tiny bit this way or that way. So I tried to picture, okay, let's feel that. Now I'm set, I feel good, and the circulation looks good. Just a feeling of it. Then the question next is to maintain that. So I came up with an idea. I like to question, inquisitive, curious, how do I do it? So in this case, I decided to monitor. Let me think through this. I decided to count number they call it the susokukan, counting the number, usually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to the 10, and then go back to 1. But I didn't want to go back to 1, because if I go back to 1, this usually makes, if you try it, you'll find out that you forget where you are. So what I did in this case is I counted to 60, and from 1 again to 60. So one idea I came up with, you have this mudra, the position of the fingers, and you have those fingers to touch each other, so you can just make a little change in terms of the pressure and the angle. So you know which finger I just finished. If you finish the first 60, I do this finger first, and thumb position maybe this, and the next one is the pointing finger, and I push like this or whatever, so that I could go through all the way. Not much mistake. Mistakes is okay if you learn from it. But it's interesting that I could maintain the position at the end, because I disciplined myself. This is the awareness about my position, so I kept maintaining that. And then counting the number 1, 2, 3, not talking in my mind. 1, 2, 3. So just do that and maintain the position of all my chest and the neck and head and straight, and the feeling of my legs maintained. So I kept up, and that was my main mission, so to speak. So let me see what happened. And while I did do that, I could just do that, and my mind was calm, quiet, just numbers. And every now and then, maybe every 5 minutes or 3 minutes, I don't know, some idea pop up. And then it went away, because my intention was the position of the fingers to count, and the counting, and the position of my body, and all the circulation, whatever, being maintained. And where's any of the missing, any point of those 2 or 3 or 4 points, you just go back. So that's all I did. And at the end of our sitting, say 25 minutes, they hit the ring. And it turned out to be pretty much the same, exactly at the 10 minutes, or what I say. It's supposed to be 25 minutes, but I went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fingers, another 5 fingers, another 5 fingers, each going through 60. So 60. So it's supposed to be 10 minutes if it's counting every second as 1. But I guess I was counting 1, 2, like 2 seconds. So it turned out to be just about the end of this whole counting with fingers coincided with the end of the sitting. So I was surprised. Oh, that was fairly easy. I did what I planned, and it worked out. So what you do after that is they call kinhin in Japanese, walk around, so that you relax your muscle from just sitting for a while. maybe 5 minutes or something, and bow, and then come back and sit again. So that's the second one. So I sat the same way, and I just did that. So that idea seemed to have worked out. There's, of course, some changes or disturbances. So that was quite interesting, and I'm recording this so tomorrow and on. Whether I keep on going, I don't know. The same kind of a protocol that I developed. But that's like a CAPD, check, act, plan, do. You do the check, act, plan, do every moment. Counting, be quiet, maintaining, and then check your posture, neck, head, chest, and the legs in certain position, not to the right or not too much to the left, so that everything is balanced, and keep on counting. And when the thought pops up, pop a little bit, but you have to keep counting. So just a little bit may stay a little longer, or you may lose counting, then you go back. So in this setting, it could be different. I feel I maintained that procedure, I thought. I'm not suggesting anyone to do it, but I came up with this idea, and it worked. There's no guarantee when I sit tomorrow, the same thing happen. I don't know. But just briefly summarizing this point, yesterday was the second day. I'm organizing all the kitchen, food, location, procedure, and easy to see. Know the efficiency of not going out too much, too little. If there's a spoon I need to get, I go there and pick one and keep it in the same place. So my shelves are precisely where I want it to be, and it can change, but you develop the standard procedure and then develop. And if it's inconvenient, you change it. The same thing inside the refrigerator, how to use microwave oven, kettle boiling, so all that stuff. So when you go there and do that and eat, it's in silence. It's the same as in sitting that I mentioned. So the eating, kitchen, procedure, and in this house, in this room, I have a place for everything, and everything in its place. I shared this already. So all my typical procedure I do every day is standardized. It sounds very technical and kind of boring, but it's okay to be boring. If it's efficient, everything works. So when you're doing the meditation, one of the thought popped up is, okay, this is a different procedure I do compared to yesterday. And yesterday I was testing this and that, and one of the way I'm more familiar with is Vipassana, where I did long time, 10-day meditation, dozen times or more. So in there is to focus on inner body sensation. And you can move your point of attention to different parts of the body. So that was yesterday, and today I was doing the Vipassana like inner body sensation awareness to look at within. But that's not just that. that's just already programmed in me, so to speak, because of the habitual pattern. And before the Zen temple I'm here, I have own routine, but here there are people living together, proceeding certain things, so they have to have a way so that you don't interact much, but smoothly flowing. So Vipassana idea, going back, of looking at inner body sensation, I call it sometimes the body is full eyes or something. I think I have a video developed that. I forgot the exact name of it. Whole body is eye. That's the word. And that's the idea that if I exaggerate, every cell is alive. And to feel that is to realize your whole body is I. There's I for it. Meaning there's a connection, there's a information passing, there's a realization of activity inner body sensation represent. So maybe this is too long to listen to this kind of story, but that is part of the thing. If you learn one step at a time and then you learn to another step and trying to mesh the whole thing together unconsciously, everything is happening. So your mind is free, your ego is gone, you are aware. So back to the sitting this morning, the sense of the inner body sensation I talked about. I'm not looking for it, but as you have those 2 or 3 things I mentioned, the counting and the posture, or whatever I said, you also can detect how my feet is, that feet get numb, whether it get numb or not, or the position, angle, and you're aware of it. Whole body awareness. Yeah, that's a good one. Whole body awareness. So if we are busy in our mind doing this and doing that, you lose the whole body awareness. And the point of that is the connection to your heart and body, that it's alive. So that aliveness, you feel it, or be aware of it as a direct experience, which is not in the mind. The mind has its own functioning, body has its own functioning, but as a being, human being, those things connected to each other. And if there's a unbalance, disconnect, that's not natural. So when it's not natural, usually there's a barrier, blockage, a bottleneck. Stomach is hurting, mind said I have to do this and that, stomach is hurting more, and you do something and then you may have the ulcer. So body awareness is very important to be alive. All the trees, animals, insects, ants, they have that, they are full of it. That's the intuitive sense of the nerve system functioning. And to realize that is indicate that you're connected to the body. Mind and body is one, or aligned, or connected. The mind and heart is connected. And since we came from this body and adding the mind, there's a way of that channel, evolutionary process happen to where we are. And we don't want to lose that. Otherwise you are like a machine brain living alone and forget about aliveness, where nutrition and blood and oxygen, everything has to go to the right place. It's a just-in-time, required amount, required place, required manner, so that you can keep this existence going. So you don't want to block that. You don't want to develop the blockage. So that's the whole idea of Shinjin Ichinyo. Brain and body is one. But that's a simple thing. Shin and Jin, body and mind is one. The mind and or the heart and brain is one. That's the experience. What we do in sitting is just make sure we do that. But since because of the habitual pattern, we develop the brain or the mind, and you're busy this and that, you lose the connection. You lose the sense of being alive. But the idea is Zen Kigen, fully utilizing all the potentials without blockage. So that's why we are doing it. Mind want to live his own world, but the body cannot be left alone. So there has to be some space to break these things together. So the zazen or meditation is the way to do it. I can talk more and more, but I'll cut it short. So today is just the third day. But developing a good discipline, and you don't have to sit if you get used to this. You just become natural. So you start to organize things and put everything in its place and place for everything, which I said I have been doing. And the funny thing is my book, the first book, is precisely about that and more, and how to use the brain. I'm not going to talk about it, but as it turned out, my first book was 1987, and it's about the company and manufacturing and information processing. And the second book, 2002, and those are also the element of what I'm talking about here. There's a wisdom behind those ideas. And that idea, if it's wisdom, you can apply it. So I met the man, Taichi Ono, one-to-one discussed and shared. And that's his philosophy or way of life. That's alive still in Toyota, called Toyota Production System. It's not just a production, it's everything. It's an internalized skill to utilize the best of what you have, Zen Kigen, in organization, but can be applied in individual. Well, I talked more than I thought I would talk. 23 minutes. Well, that was an interesting morning. I hope you got something out of it. Thank you. Hey, if you got something out of it, you have to practice it. That's the whole point. If you don't practice, it just stays in the mind. Thank you.